All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to Beer and Politics. It's often said wherever you have two or more guys having a bottle of beer, there you'll find politics of everything. Politics for sport, politics of the family, politics of politics of governance, and whatever sort of politics you can ever find. Where two or men are gathered, there you find politics. And in case you're wondering where we're doing this from, we're doing this from Broma Grillers, the best place you can ever be. It's actually on Channels Road. So if you live around Channels Road, you stay around Opik, or you're returning home from the village, maybe you stay in Anambra, you're returning back home. Just before you get to Lagos, I would love you to maybe make your stop at Broma's Griller. You know, the best place you can ever be, where you can actually wind time while you wait for your wife to finish cooking just before you get home. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
All right. So, and just to let you know that this episode of Beer and Politics is proudly supported by Budweiser. Budweiser, the best drink for you and your guys to relax and have a nice time. Today we're talking about politics. Sorry, sports, politics of sports, politics of sports. And of course, yeah, and of course, I have with me Josh Too Sporty, the best guy you can ever have if you talk about sports in Nigeria. Josh, how are you today?
I'm fine. I'm fine, Henry. It's lovely to be here, right here at Broma Grillers.
Yes.
And of course, like you're talking about politics and sports, there is politics in everything.
Yeah.
There's politics in football.
I'm already opening up my Budweiser. Josh is already having a fun time already with his. Yes.
Already. So there is politics in sports. There is politics in entertainment. There's politics in everything. We all saw the whole issue with the Ballon d'Or, Vinny Jr., Rodri. Okay, because of this and that reason. So politics is abounds everywhere. And without politics, Harold Lasky said politics is the fight for who gets what, when, and how. And that in itself encompasses life.
Okay.
So who gets what, how, and how, it also happens in sports as well. Just like how we know recently Manchester still it's tending that the court will rule them not guilty of the 115 charges
You don't mean it?
alleged against them.
No. I want you to break it down, especially for those who are watching. Man U is Manchester City.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were charged for breaking 115 transfer rules, Premier League rules. But then the court is going to rule them not guilty in those 115 charges.
But do you think Manchester City is actually guilty of that?
Well, in football, I think perhaps only the case of Juventus in the Calciopoli, where there was doping and match fixing allegations that were proven to be correct. Perhaps that's the only situation where you see a big club get punished. Lots of time, oftentimes, Barcelona there have been allegations of match fixing and paying referees. It seems like nothing has would amount to that. There was the issue of Sir Alex Ferguson and influencing referees, issues of UEFA Lona for Barcelona as well, Real Madrid. So there's always controversy surrounding football because, of course, it's just like politics. It's about who gets what, when, and how. So if Man City gets punished, they will lose the titles that they've won in all the while that they were doing this. The while since 2012 to date. So they are going to financial fair play rules that were breached, Premier League fair play rules that were breached, transfer rules that were breached. So they are going to, they're going to lose all the trophies that they have won this period because of the breaches of this rule. And because they have breached these rules, lots of clubs like Manchester United finished second twice under the same dispensation. Liverpool finished second, Arsenal finished second. So every other club who are rivals or competitors, direct competitors to Man City, would definitely want Man City to, be charged guilty and to face the punishment and be stripped of the titles, and the titles will be handed over to them.
Now, do you think it's only Manchester City that's guilty, possibly guilty of these allegations, or do we equally have other sister clubs that are equally guilty of this?
Well, like we saw last season in the Premier League, Nottingham Forest still have a punishment for this season. Everton had points deduction last season. They still escaped relegation. Nottingham Forest had some points deduction. had some fines due to some commitment made by their coaches. So there have been lots of punishments being meted out upon the smaller clubs, which now begs the difference or begs the question that is does the punishment only apply to the smaller clubs? What about the big boys? It's just like you could probably see what happens in Nigeria as
Okay.
well. The elites, the elites get away with all the you could say they're above the law, but then when it
All
comes
sorts
to
of
the
crime.
common man,
Yeah.
you face the music. Same thing happens in football as well.
Alright.
The big clubs, apart from Juventus is perhaps the only big club that have really been punished for such allegations, match fixing allegations, financial fair play allegations. They were banned from European participating in European football last year, the 2022-2023 season. Sorry, the 2023-2024 season, that's last season. They were also relegated. The only time Juventus have been relegated from the Serie A, from the first division, in 2006-2007 season, they came back up immediately, but they were relegated, lost the title. The 2004 Serie A season was cancelled. 2006 title that they won before the World Cup was handed over to Inter Milan.
Wow.
So Juventus are the only example, and perhaps maybe Glasgow Rangers, because in Scotland, Rangers are the second biggest team in the land after Celtic. Or perhaps they are on par with each other.
Okay.
Rangers were relegated due to financial mismanagement, relegated to the fourth division, and they finally worked their way back up. But perhaps apart from Rangers and Juventus in European football, the big clubs always go away unscathed
Okay.
when they face such allegations,
Alright.
such mismanagement allegations. Apart from when it's an issue of your club entering into administration, that's you're basically getting broke. But financial fair play, human, other illegal match allegations and charges, 115
Charges.
charges.
All right. So yes. So just before we get to talk or more about this, especially I would love us to narrow it to Nigeria. Just to let you know, people, that beer and politics is actually up for support and sponsorship. So if you have a lounge, you have a bar, you have a club, and you love us to come do beer and politics in your place, our numbers are written on the screen there. So give us a call. Let's have a conversation so we can both help one another. And just to let you know, for all the alcoholic brands, all right, you want to support beer and politics just like Budweiser has done, it's equally open. We've not been taken yet, exclusively, that is. So if you want to support beer and politics, it's often and always open. So you just give us a call so we can have a conversation. I still have with me Josh too, sporting with me and talking about sports. Now, how do we domesticate this issue that you talked about so that in Nigeria we wouldn't have such issue, or do we have it even in Nigeria?
Well, recently, as less than a week ago, Plateau United and Benin Insurance were handed 3 points deductions and some fines for hooliganism, basically hooliganism. And I think issues like racism, hooliganism, discrimination, improper conduct, I think generally it's frowned upon in sports. Even Novak Djokovic, 2020, perhaps the greatest male tennis player of all time, you could say it's an error. He hits the ball carelessly, it struck an umpire, and he was disqualified from that match. Pablo Carreno Busta won that encounter when he was even losing, so Djokovic was winning. But then, because of an errant and breach of the law, he got disqualified from the match and from the Grand Slam. Wow. So, in Nigeria, steps are being taken, points deduction for hooliganism, for crowd violence, for not having adequate security to protect visiting players, the referees. So steps are being taken to prevent these things happening, and which is why this season of the Nigeria Premier Football League, perhaps we can say, is the best in the history of Nigeria, because steps are being taken to curb any illegal activities, any maladministration, and which is why we could say that this is perhaps the fastest league, because all games have been played on schedule and there has been no major hiccups that have not met the adequate punishment.
Thank you so very much. Well, I would have wished we talked some more on beer and politics today, but this is just about the time we have. A lot to say thank you to you. If you've watched, you've streamed that is, wherever it is, you've done that around the world. Love to say thank you to you. But please, just to let you know that beer and politics is open for grasp. So if you have a bar, you have a lounge, you have a club, and you love us to bring beer and politics to your sport so that people can know you better, just like Broma Grillers have given us the opportunity of doing this in their place. It's open for grasp. And just to let you know also that if you are a sponsor, you want to support us with your product, let's do it. Please, let's do it. My number is on the screen there, so let's have a conversation. Thank you so very much, Josh, for having the time to talk to us on Beyond
Definitely,
Politics.
definitely. It's
We do
love.
appreciate
It's lovely to be here on Beer
Yeah.
and Politics, and I hope to be back some other time to
Yeah.
definitely talk beer politics and sports.
Thank you so very much. All right, people, about to go. Thank you very much, and remember to follow us on all our social media platforms. Share this so people can get to know about it and talk about it also. Thank you. My name is Henry. I'll see you next time on Beer and Politics. Bye bye.